We already know that SafeMoon is working on moving forward with wind turbines, incorporating NFT structured behind that, and that can allow SafeMoon to become part of this ecosystem. There's also theories out there about solar energy, and the idea with NFTs is very vast and expansive, and it's a growing space for sure. So what I want to talk about with you today is aquaponics. This is a follow-up based on what the CEO had said over in Discord. I did some more research behind this, and I found some very interesting things. So strap yourselves in. Before I get into it, I want to say a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research. I highly encourage you to go do your own research. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into the news. Okay, so over on Discord, originally what had been asked was, hey John, hope all is well. Quick question. Any plans to release news on agriculture endeavors in 2022? And then somebody had ended up following a response to that, asking John hydroponics, aquaponics, and John responded saying aquaponics. That's all he said. I understand there's not a lot to work off of with that. But let me go ahead and do some investigative research because he still acknowledged a response between the two. So aquaponics is a way to be able to use the byproduct, the waste from fish that can be fed into and help with the fertilization of plants. So how does this kind of come into play with NFTs? And how does this come into play with the Gambia and renewable energy and all that kind of stuff? Well, for one, is that hunger is a major issue in many parts of the world. So if you can try and troubleshoot that, not only is it good from a humanitarian standpoint, but if you can be able to incorporate it back into the blockchain, by all means, there you go. You got two birds, one stone. And what's interesting is that on my research of this, there are people out there who have been able to make a filtration system for this with aquaponics with no electricity at all. I saw a video of a guy, he was using these Folgers coffee cups, the plastic ones, or the plastic containers, I should say. Very interesting. And so here's the thing. I remembered an article and I had to do a little bit of research, but luckily I found it. So I want to go ahead and read through this for you. And this is talking about how they have been able to incorporate into plants the ability to send out signals. So this titled article is Scientists Have Taught Spinach to Send Emails When They Detect Landmines. Scientists have managed to engineer spinach plants to send emails when they detect explosive materials, and social media is delighted. Euronews picked up its trial and dug through a Nature journal entry to provide details of the nanotechnology. I'm going to stress certain words because these are things that we've talked about in the SafeMoon community space, right? So nanotechnology that has been used to transform wild-type plants such as spinach into infrared communication platforms capable of sending information to computers and smartphones through a process of sensor detection and wireless relay. So the whole idea of mesh networks, the grid-based system, we're talking about all that here. I got another article that also goes even further down this, which is really cool. So MIT engineers experimented with a niche field of science known as plant nanobionics and discovered that, per the report, spinach roots can detect the presence of nitroaromatics in groundwater, a compound often found in explosives like landmines. The carbon nanotubes within the plant leaves emit a signal. This signal can then be picked up by an infrared camera, send an email to alert scientists. Plants are very good analytical chemists. They have an extensive root network in the soil, are constantly sampling groundwater, and have a way to self-power the transport of that water up into the leaves. Professor Michael Strano, who led the research, explained to the outlet. This is a novel demonstration of how we have overcome the plant/human communication barrier. Initially, the research was conducted to understand whether wild-type plants could be bioengineered to detect explosive materials. However, scientists now believe that the nanotech could be stretched further afield, whilst still remaining in the field, to engineer plants to warn researchers about pollution and other potential environmental issues. The experiment findings were published in 2016, but the research recently resurfaced in headlines, sparking interest amongst social media users who immediately got the topic trending on Twitter. So this is very cool. And remember, this is an emerging industry space. The idea of developing between communications of humans and plants using things like these carbon nanotubes is creating new opportunities. So it can continue to evolve. There may be new ways that this is also being implemented. implemented in. This article came out a year ago, just FYI. So now, moving on to the further aspect going down the rabbit hole. This is titled Smart Hoods Aquaponics Integrated Microgrids. The abstract for this. With the pressure to transition towards a fully renewable energy system, increasing a new type of power system architecture is emerging. It's called the microgrid. A microgrid integrates a multitude of decentralized renewable energy technologies using smart energy management systems in order to efficiently balance the local production and consumption of renewable energy, resulting in a high degree of flexibility and resilience. Generally, the performance of a microgrid increases with the number of technologies present, although it remains difficult to create a fully autonomous microgrid within economic reason. In order to improve the self-sufficiency and flexibility of these microgrids, this research proposes integrating a neighborhood microgrid with an urban agriculture facility that houses a decoupled multi-loop aquaponics facility. I love that. Here we go. We're drawing connections between them, right? This new concept is called Smart Hood, where all food, water, energy flows are circularly connected. In doing so, the performance of the microgrid greatly improves due to the high flexibility present within the thermal mass, pumps, and lighting systems. As a result, it is possible to achieve 95.38% power and 100% heat self-sufficiency. This result is promising as it could pave the way towards realizing these fully circular, decentralized food, water, energy systems. So I think this is absolutely amazing that there are people out there that are diving into this, and you could ask yourselves, well, how does this come back with SafeMoon? So this is where a little bit more the theory kind of comes out to play, whereas this is actual research that's being conducted, and I want to point that out. So I think that potentially with the previous article, how they talked about using infrared and with the carbon nanotubes, they're able to pull data. Maybe you could have something that's like when you're growing these vegetable crops and they hit a certain threshold on a readout from the thermal of how much thermal there is of all the plants that are there, then that could constitute based on a certain value that's then being dictated associated with SafeMoon. I'm just throwing one example that's out there. Maybe there's other applications, but regardless, the ability for plants to be able to send signals to communicate with computers, with cell phones. I mean, it's making me think of the grid, guys. It's making me think of blockchain technology. And I think that there's possibilities that are here that could be tapped into, that we might be seeing something in the future. At the end of the day, why did John respond? Why did he say that he is looking at specifically aquaponics, this ability to help create food and potentially being able to tie it back to SafeMoon? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. I want to say a quick special shout out thank you to our Patreon supporters. A double shout out thank you to Xavier Zamora, Victor, Troy Smothers, and 1010 Buns for being higher level patrons. You can join that for as little as $1 a month. There is a link in the description. Also, thank you to our YouTube members. You can click the join button down below if you would like to join that. And that does it for this video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. I would love for you to be a part of this awesome community. And also click the thumbs up like button. It definitely helps us out with the YouTube search algorithm. Click the bell icon so you know whenever we go live. Thank you so much for being here. God bless, and I will see you in the next episode.